Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Brad here with the Big Family Homestead. I hope you're having a blessed day. Ow, this is hot. Wherever it is that you are watching this devotion from, today we are going to be looking into the plight of David and his people in exile in 2 Samuel chapter 17. And let me tell you what, folks, it don't get much better than this in terms of action and adventure and drama and the politics of it. It's crazy what we're going to see today. And you wonder where all these Hollywood people get their ideas from. And I'm fairly certain a lot of them come from a very familiar source. And that's right here. So anyway, we're going to continue on in the ESV version of the Bible. And, we're going to read chapter 17, then we're going to unpack it. I do encourage you to comment, just stay on topic. If you like to chat, come on early, with other folks, but just stay on topic. That helps us not get confused and have many conversations going on, but do hang out and make comments. So here we go. Oh, I should say hello to who's here first. I am nearly remiss. Let's scroll to the top. Good morning to Pepper Leah, Faith and Family, Delaney B. Scott. Good morning, Laura H. Steve Gunink. Good morning to Sally H. Monica Sherman. Karen, Plan with Jen. Good morning to Delaney B. again. Karen, good morning to T. Pearson, Southern Prairie Homestead. Mike DeFazio. Good morning, Ray Barnes. Lisa Park. Good morning to Adele, the Bulletproof Pastor. Janet. Good morning, Scott. Good morning to Celtic Roots Farm. Hey, guys, or gal, or guy, whoever's watching. Good morning to you. Good morning to Southern Prairie Homestead, Krista and crew, Ashley, and I think I got everybody. If I have missed your name, I promise you it is unintentional. Hey, Danny's here. Good morning to Danny. I hope you're all having a blessed morning. Clink. Again, stay on topic, but this is going to be a good one. You're not going to believe the situation you find David in. All right. So, just a quick recap. David got himself into trouble again, and his son Absalom has staged a coup, a military coup. He's made himself look bigger than he actually is. David's out. They're wandering in exile. They're no longer in Jerusalem. Absalom's taken Jerusalem, but Absalom has spies in his midst that he doesn't know about. And one of the, there's a vengeance that's been bubbling to the top. Ahithophel, that's the guy's name, Ahithophel, who is the grandfather to Bathsheba, just so happened to be a counselor to King David, and now has sided with Absalom. Uh-oh. So that's where we're at. Quick recap. And we start in chapter 17. And what's interesting right off the bat is the word moreover. This is after Ahithophel had counseled Absalom to go and be with David's second wives, his concubines, and become a horrible stench in the sight of everyone. He did it out in the open. Everybody knew. It was a symbol. It was a sign. It was a show that he's the man in charge now, and it was not good. And so here we go. Verse 1. Moreover, Ahithophel said to Absalom, "Let me choose 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue David tonight. I will come upon him while he is weary and discouraged and throw him into a panic, and all the people who are with him will flee. I will strike down only the king, and I will bring all the people back to you as a bride comes home to her husband. You seek the life of only one man, and all the people will be at peace." And the advice seemed right in the eyes of Absalom and all the elders of Israel. Then Absalom said, "Call Hushai the Archite, and let us hear what he has to say." And when Hushai came to Absalom, Absalom said to him, "Thus has Ahithophel spoken. Shall we do what he says? If not, you speak." Then Hushai said to Absalom, "This time the counsel that Ahithophel has given is not good." Hushai said, "You know that your father and his men are mighty men, and that they are enraged, like a bear robbed of her cubs in the field. Besides, your father is an expert in war. He will not spend the night with the people. Behold, even now he has hidden himself in one of the pits or in some other place. And as soon as some of the people fall at the first attack, whoever hears it will say, 'There has been a slaughter among the people who follow Absalom.' And even the valiant men, whose hearts are like the heart of a lion, will utterly melt with fear, for all Israel knows that your father is a mighty man, and that those who are with him are valiant men. But my counsel is that all Israel be gathered to you, from Dan to Beersheba, as the sand of the sea for multitude, and that you go to battle in person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he is to be found, and we shall light upon him as dew falls on the ground. And of him and all men with him not one will be left. If he withdraws into the city, then all Israel will bring ropes into that city, and we shall drag it into the valley until not even a pebble is to be found there." Then Absalom and all his men of Israel said, "The counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. For the Lord has ordained to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, so that the Lord may bring harm upon Absalom." Then Hushai said to Zadok and Abiathar, remember those guys? They're working for David. Then Hushai said to Zadok and Abiathar, the priests, "Thus and so did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus and so I have counseled. Now therefore send quickly to tell David, do not stay tonight at the fords of the wilderness, but by all means pass over, lest the king and all his people who are with him be swallowed up." Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz were waiting at En-Rogel. A female servant was to go and tell them, and they were to go and tell King David, for they were not to be seen entering the city. But a young man saw them and told Absalom. So both of them went away quickly and came to the house of a man at Bahurim, who had a well in his courtyard. And they went down to it, and the woman took and spread a covering over the well's mouth and scattered grain on it, and nothing was known of it. When Absalom's servants came to the woman at the house, and they said, "Where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan?" And the woman said to them, "They have gone over to the brook of water." And when they had sought them, they could not find them, and they returned to Jerusalem. And after they had gone, the men came up out of the well and went and told King David. They said to David, "Arise and go quickly over the water, for thus and so has Ahithophel counseled against you." Then David arose, and all the people who were with him, and they crossed the Jordan. By daybreak, not one was left who had crossed the Jordan. When Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his donkey and went off home to his own city. He set his house in order and hanged himself. And he died and was buried in the tomb of his father. Then David came to a city, Mahanaim. And Absalom crossed the Jordan with all the men of Israel. Now Absalom had set Amasa over the army instead of Joab. Amasa was the son of a man named Ithra, the Ishmaelite, who had married Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister of Zeruiah. That's David's sister. Joab's mother. And all Israel and Absalom encamped in the land of Gilead. When David came to Mahanaim, Shobi the son of Nahash from Rabbah, and the Ammonites, and Machir, son of Amamiel, from Lodebar, and Barzillai, and the Gileadite from Rogelim, brought beds, basins, earthen vessels, wheat, barley, parched grain, beans, and lentils, honey and curds, and sheep and cheese from the herd for David, and the people with him to eat. For they said, the people are hungry, and the weary and thirsty, and weary and thirsty in the wilderness. Whoa. Okay. Spies everywhere. Oh my gracious. Even priest spies. It's kind of like in Shakespeare, huh? Uh-oh. All right. Let's unpack some of this because, whoa. Mike DeFazio says I get double credit for pronunciation earlier. Oh, man. Some of this stuff is puzzling. I got to be honest. It took me a while to get Ahithophel's name, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Anyway, so verse 1. You know this is not going to be good when the chapter starts with moreover. After the last chapter was as bad as it was. The last chapter was Ahithophel saying, you know what you should do, Absalom? Go and impregnate as many of those concubines as you can. David's concubines. You know, his wives, you probably grew up with a lot of them. They probably were nursemaids to you, probably. Why don't you go ahead and impregnate as many of them as you can? That is bad counsel, but why? Do you guys remember? I hope you remember why. Who the heck is Ahithophel? Ahithophel is Bathsheba's granddad. David violated Bathsheba and murdered her husband Uriah so that he could have her as a wife. Remember? Sees her on the rooftop, has his servants call her over, realizes who she is, knew who she was, had her. Oops, there's a baby coming. Had Uriah killed. You think granddad was happy about this? Oh, no. This man's been harboring bitterness and rage, and vengeance was coming, and it was only a matter of time. And Ahithophel was the right place at the right time to unleash his vengeance. And now the chapter starts out, moreover. Oh, jeez. Okay, moreover, he counsels Absalom. He counsels Absalom and says, hey, you know what you should do? You should go and kill just David. Just David. Go get him. It's going to be easy. If you do it now, he won't know what hit him. It's that would be the complete blind side. And if you look at the way that this actually went down, that would have been the smartest thing for Absalom to do. If he had gone after David that night, his losses would have been very small, and he would have eradicated the threat. But he didn't. He listened to Ahithophel, and Ahithophel was actually giving wise counsel. Even though Ahithophel, his counsel was based in vengeance. He wanted David dead for what he had done. He wanted him dead. And he saw the opportunity to get it done. Because don't forget, he's an old man by now. It's not like he's some mighty warrior. I mean, he was grandfather to Bathsheba, so Bathsheba had to be at least of childbearing age. So let's just guess she was 17-ish, somewhere in there, just cuz. So dad above that, granddad above that, probably not the biggest fighting age. He was looking for a reason and a way to get back at David. He hosed their family bad and pretty much violated Bathsheba, his granddaughter. And now he's got his chance. He's whispering to Absalom, hey, now's the time. Go get him. If you don't, he's going to be too strong. But then Hushai counsels differently. Hushai was a friend to David. And if you remember, David counseled Hushai to stay. When they were leaving the city, when they were going out into exile, and all those people were passing by David, David said to Hushai, no, this is going to be crazy. You don't want to come out here. This will probably kill you. You don't want to be out in the wilderness. I know what it's like. You won't make it. You stay. Tell you what, you be a friend to me. And when the time is right, you be a friend to me, and I will continue being a friend to you. And he did. And that's why Hushai gives him what on the surface sounds like, man, Hushai's advice is brutal. You know what? Wait until you get all the people from all the whole country, from Dan to Beersheba. You get them all here. They're going to be like the sands of the sea. And then you go and you kill every last one of them. Kill them all. Women, children, sheep, David, kill them all. And so on the surface, it sounds like, boy, that's rough, man. That's some hard advice. But what he was really doing was buying David time. He was buying David time, and he sent those spies to get to David to tell him, you better get out of here, because if they even catch wind at all, Ahithophel is going to come after you. He's gonna saddle up some people, and they're going to get you. And so his advice was buying time. Getting people together takes time. So let me continue on, but I want to see, okay, Southern Prairie Homestead says, this was bait, yeah. Intended by Ahithophel to keep Absalom occupied. No, this Hushai. Oh, well, this was bait intended by Ahithophel to keep Absalom occupied in the opening days of the mortal confrontation between Absalom and his father. Well, there never was a confrontation between Absalom and his father. So I'm not sure I'm going to go there, Southern Prairie Homestead. I'm going to go with straight up vengeance. I think that Ahithophel knew that if he let David get away, it was going to be bad. They're going to go, and just like every other time, he's going to draw people to him. He's a charismatic guy, and he'll come back with a greater force. That's just my opinion. T. Pearson says, I need a big chart to keep track of these relationships and names. Honestly, I've thought of that. I really have thought of that. Too bad Christian bookstores don't sell a poster explaining the many relationships. And it gets more. Yes, T. Pearson, no doubt. I would hang that on my wall. That chart would be a hairball. Yeah. It would take 25 boxes of print paper. Agreed. Yes. Okay. Bulletproof says Absalom's army was smoke and mirrors, and he knew he needed time to generate real force. Yes, Bulletproof. Yes, but that's why Ahithophel's advice was so stinking smart. If you let David go out there and start amassing a bunch of people who are like, you know what? I don't like that Absalom. David's king in Israel, and let's go get him. If David had a chance to go and build an army bigger, there was no way Absalom was going to be able to push him back. So Ahithophel's advice was smart. Kill him while he's weak. And but the advice was not heeded. So this was vengeance, and pure and simple. Then you've got the spy network. Isn't this great? So Hushai convinces Absalom, you know what? Just wait. Just wait. You should bring all the armies here. Tell everybody there's a new king. It's a coup. And with a coup, a lot of it is built on smoke and mirrors. And so they had to make people think they were bigger than they were. But now what? Okay, we got the capital. Now what? And it seems like that's always how those things are. Now what? We got this. Now what? We got that. We got that. So the spies hear Hushai's plan. Hushai tells it to the priest. The priest tell it to the runners. One of the runners is a son of Zadok the priest, and that's Ahimaaz and Jonathan. Those were the runners. So they go, and they're gonna go and try and find David and let him know what's going on. And then the drama gets even more. So they catch up. The spies are found out. They're found out. And then there's this whole big deception. And that woman hides the spies in a well that she covers up with cloth and spreads, what does it say, scattered grain all over it, so that it wasn't well known. It was a deception. She hid him in the well, put something on top of it, and then spread grain all over it to make it look like ground or whatever. But it didn't look like a well. Whoa. And they get away with it. They get away with it. Absalom's people don't find him. They get away. They let David know, you better get out of Dodge. You better cross Jordan tonight. And they do. And they get away with it. And it's so interesting. Just desserts, right? When Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, and by just desserts, I don't mean that he didn't have a right beef with David. Ahithophel most certainly had every right to be ticked off at David, 100%. But for how many years of his life, decades of his life, he was bitter and filled with vengeance and quiet rage. And he sought the life of David for decades, quietly, secretly, hoping for that moment. That's what I mean by just desserts. Because now he had his chance, but God said, nope. David's still my man in Jerusalem. And so Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, meaning, oh, crud. We lost our chance. We lost our opportunity. David's going to get out, and he's coming back. He's not going to let this sit. And so he's going to find out. He's going to find out it was me, and I might as well go get myself in order, make sure the family's taken care of, and Ahithophel hangs himself. Because he knows it's only a matter of time. So does he die in disgrace or on his own terms? Eesh. Yuck. Oh, boy. Now, I want to make a point here of something that will be important tomorrow. Because, you guys are talking about these names and how everybody is connected in some way or another, and they are. And this spot here from verse 25, now Absalom had set Amasa over the army instead of Joab. Well, we know who Joab is, remember? David's nephew. That's Joab. David's sister, Zeruiah, had a son. She had three. Joab, Abishai, who was actually with David at this time. Abishai's with David. So you got Joab, Abishai, and then the other one, oh shoot, what was his name that got killed? It was Abner killed him. Asahel. And but now you see Nahash, the sister of Zeruiah. That's David's sister, which means that they're related somehow, Nahash and David. Sister of Zeruiah, probably a second. I'll have to look it up. But Joab's mother, wait a minute. And all Israel and Absalom encamped at Gilead. So it goes on to tell you that all these people are connected. This one's that one's cousin. That one is related to this. This is my uncle. That's one's that. And they're all together. And so Absalom's plan, here's a little bit of secret, skipping ahead information before we jump into some more comments. So if you got comments, now's the time to do it. Skipping ahead just a little bit. You got to keep in mind that David and his people, David is loved, even though he has been slacking on the personal level for a long time. David is a loved and beloved king. He's related to everybody. Don't forget, they would have as many wives as they could get their hands on, make as many babies as they could, and that was one of the ways that they would actually conquer. Everybody's related. Go get them, guys. It's like a family reunion with battle axes and spears. Go get them, guys. That's one of the ways they would grow a nation. So you've got now a bunch of people who have to decide, do I go with David? Well, there's my cousin Joey, and there's blah, 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 and I know him from school. Wait a minute. They have to decide who's gonna pick what side. And it does not, here's the little thing, it doesn't go the way that Absalom had hoped. So let me grab some comments. Okay. This is one of the great principles of life, which every page of the Bible emphasizes and illustrates. Men cannot escape God. Southern Prairie Homestead, well said. Good comment. They go on their way, but that way never sets them free from the authority and the invincible power of God. True. True. Waiting like a cat to pounce on a mouse. Yep. Bulletproof says Ahithophel's sin was to take vengeance personally. He had taken his complaint to God, or had he taken his complaint to God, his faith would have grown and his bitterness would not have been his destruction. I agree. And you know what? You even see that in the vengeance of Ahithophel. He didn't want to kill everybody. He wanted one man's life. Did you notice that? When Ahithophel was suggesting to Absalom, hey, Absalom, go get him, but just one guy. You kill him. Then Hushai said, no, kill everybody. And the bloodthirsty people wanted to kill everybody. I think that's why the counsel of Ahithophel was not taken. I think people were bloodthirsty. They wanted to go get them all. They wanted to wipe it out, eradicate it out. I don't want to have these problems anymore. But, you know, he wanted vengeance. Talk about some awkward family reunions. Yes. Okay. Let's see. It's so cool to see how things are connected. Yeah. These helpers of David were not dramatic warriors, but they were specially sent by God to comfort David in his affliction. True. Even though David screwed up over and over again and lived in a messed up family, which was his own doing largely, there's a general undertone of humble repentance in David's life. That is what separated him from most others. I agree. His humility is seen again and again and again. His also, since we're seeing a lot of the negative side of David, let's talk about the positive side for a sec. Humility. But also his blind devotion when he's paying attention to God in a way that others just don't. When Goliath is out there taunting Israel and he's like, who is this dog? Why are you guys, hey, you guys, why is he standing there? Why haven't you gone and gotten him? You're the people of God. What's wrong with you? It's that kind of, you don't understand. God's on our side. He's that guy. And he also has this charisma that people want to follow. And he uses that, even that humility, to point to God. You remember when he danced in his underclothes and Saul's daughter, Michal, wanted to call him out for it and did call him out for it. And it was embarrassing for her, not David, but he was just so engrossed with what God was doing that he didn't care. His humility was so great that he just didn't care. It wasn't like he was being foul, but it was beneath the office of king, apparently. So anyway, the good qualities. Let me see if I can grab another comment or two. Let's see. I've been reflecting about how hard it would be to deal with the destruction he witnessed and not take action. Oh, yeah. Yeah, says Laura. Okay. Oh, that we may learn from those who have gone before us. And that's the goal of this, guys. That's absolutely the goal of this. Pay attention. Learn. Even now when we get into messes that people want to hang you out to dry, Christ never gives up on us. True. All righty, guys. Good reading, good conversation, good comments. So tomorrow's a big day in the life of Israel and David and Absalom and all of them. So let's pray. Father God, thank you so very much for how you love us. Help us to learn from the people who have gone before us, and not just to read it, not just to hear it, but that we would apply what you want us to apply in our lives and be fearless in doing so. We love you, Jesus. Thank you so very much. Amen. All right, guys. See you back tomorrow. The plot thickens and continues on. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Bye.